Hello, and welcome back. I'm super excited to deliver a new message for you today, and I am quite crazy because I'm working with 4 new card decks. So, it's going to be a discovery process for me as well. All right. So, what do we need to hear today? Got our first card. Okay, this is interesting. The first card that we have is moderation. And so it says here, is there something you know you shouldn't be eating? Ooh, interesting that they point out the food right away. Try to eat mindfully and healthily, although the fairies say that a little bit of what you fancy is fine. So this is quite interesting, not the direction I thought that we're heading today, which brings me it brings me that reminder that it's important to not oscillate between the extremes of too much and not enough. For example, if it's funny that they bring diet here. It's interesting because who here has ever done like drastic dieting or drastic restrictions and felt bad about craving specific food? And it's like everyone, or I'm going to say most people. And so here, this message, it's really interesting because, guys, when you eat something and you see this as negative. So let's say I'm just gonna go ahead and bring an example here. Let's say pizza, not even pizza, no, forget it. Just a pastry, something that reminds you of childhood, something that reminds you of coziness and feels nice and fuzzy and warm inside, like something that you really enjoyed or cherished as a child. And if you are there's so many toxic ways of losing weight, and there are so many it's just a heavy topic. It's such a huge topic. I don't know if I can bring it down into a minute message, but what you feel when you eat it is going to affect you more than the actual food. So it's really, really important here to become more aware of your feelings and how you feel when you eat certain foods. So if you say you want to indulge and splurge, oh, Thanksgiving's coming, that's why. Okay, so if you do want to indulge in food, and you are eating it, but then you're in your mind, you're like, you shouldn't be eating this. This is not good for you. This is gonna make you gain weight, blah, blah, blah. So if you have these thoughts while you're eating, of course, it's going to be impacting you negatively. And so this is a journey. Like, you can't just say, oh my God, from now on, I'm not gonna do that ever again. Like, it takes time to adjust to this new reality of how you feel and the food that you eat. And lately, in the last few months, I have been eating a lot of foods that I thought I would never eat again in my life, like pastries, but they are exactly what I used to eat in childhood. So these foods are just bringing me back and transporting me back into my childhood, helping me heal my inner child. So when I'm eating this almond stuffed croissant that I used to eat in France when I was a kid, or no, not these ones, but anyways, other croissants, I never thought as, vegan and gluten-free and all these things that I have to eat in order to live pain-free, I never thought I would eat them again because, where do you find vegan gluten-free croissant? So anyways, stumble upon this bakery and I have been buying them recently, and they have actually helped me heal my inner child, my childhood wounds. They brought me back into this time period of my life that needed healing. And so whenever I've been eating them, I know they're not healthy, they're full of fat, they're full of sugar. Like, it's not healthy at all, even if they're vegan, gluten-free. But they are not necessarily damaging in the sense that I've seen positive results from this whole process of inner child healing. So anyways, this is an interesting card, and I could be talking about this topic for hours and hours and hours. This is what we're essentially covering in my coaching programs, my group coaching programs, for weight or for plant-based coaching. Anyways, I'm just so surprised that the angels would be going that direction today. But sure, why not? All right, so am I not supposed to use I'm supposed to use this deck right now? That makes more sense. Okay, what do we need to hear today? Whoop. Okay. There are two cards that came up, and let's see how that comes up. So the first one is the energy is gaining momentum. The energy is gaining momentum with the waxing moon. So there's something that is building. I got the message now. So interesting. A lot of the energies have been intense recently. Especially, I'm going to say in the last few months, I've been feeling that building up. And we are still in the building up process because there's still more coming up. And it's intense, but it's going to get even more intense. And so that's why this card's coming up. So this is kind of, I don't know if you feel these energies. I'm very, very sensitive to all this collective energy. And so, and all these energies, I'm just going to say all these energies, not just the collective. So this right now, we are in the building up stage. Like, there's more coming up to the surface. There's more that is being brought up, and that process is actually uncomfortable. That is not a process that is it's quite disruptive, but in a positive way. So it's meant to disrupt and shake our world so that we focus on the right things and that we take the time to process these things that are coming up. And so this card is coming up to say, listen, a fiery climax approaches. And it says here, full moon in Aries. So this is not actually like the next full moon that's coming up, but whatever is surfacing right now is pretty intense for everyone. And it's intense, it's uncomfortable, it's sticky, it's not fun. It's not fun. And that's probably why it can make you kind of indulge in food to distract yourself from the uncomfortable feelings that are coming up. Interesting. And why did I need to pick these cards before these? I don't know. So let's just see what's coming up next. I can see now the order of things. Just put these two cards like that. And all these cards are coming together for one big message. Okay. So this card, the second bloom. Okay, so the second bloom, a second chance, it's never too late, new possibilities. So you know these uncomfortable things that have been happening in your life, the patterns that have been repeating themselves and that have been sourced in trauma and that has never been addressed. Well, now is the time, through everything that's going on, stirring everything up. Now is the time to take that second chance in dealing with them. Such a heavy message today. Very, very heavy message. Yeah, it's not too late. Like these things that you have been kind of pushing underneath the carpet and not wanting to deal with it, now's your second chance. It's all coming up. It's very, very uncomfortable. It's very, now I understand why they were talking about food before. It is uncomfortable. And when we don't feel good, we just tend to do that makes us feel good temporarily. And so I really understand, really, really understand for someone that have been, myself, dealing with the why emotional eating. That's the word. Like, why is the word not coming? Okay, so we got two cards coming up from this deck. Such an interesting message. Here, the first card that we got is the King of Swords. The King of Swords. And if you haven't seen this deck already, this is super cute. I want to bring the King of Swords here. So this card, the King of Swords also tells us not to be too rigid and make decisions based on assumption. Inform yourself as much as possible before jumping into conclusion. And so this links so well with the first card. The King of Swords card is a reminder to bring objectivity and clarity of judgment to a situation in life. It may require taking time away from the challenge at hand and develop a different perspective. So you see how I first talked about food in the beginning, and we got the moderation card, and this is so interesting. Man, why did I just the message? Okay, so this is about you being rigid of I can't do this. I can't, like, there's a difference between healthy boundaries and being rigid. And that's how the importance of seeing things from a different perspective comes in. Because when we are being rigid, we're more punishing ourselves, as opposed to healthy boundaries, which is about this is what's important. This is what matters to me. This is the line that please don't cross. Like this, there's a difference between healthy boundaries and being rigid. Being rigid is more so they're bringing the message back to food. So if you're very rigid about something and you're like, no, I can't have this, I can't have this, I can't have this, but deep down this is something that you want and you have that conflicting message. If you're rigid about it, you're gonna be like this tree branch that is gonna be that's that dry tree branch that is going to be breaking whenever there's a big storm. It's not going to be bending, it's going to be just breaking. So that's the rigidity when it comes to food. If you're super rigid about something that you deep down want, and you're being rigid about it, then there might be a day that is difficult and emotionally challenging, and you're just going to break and you're just going to go for it in a not healthy way. So that's why this first card came in of just reminding us of that healthy dynamic between us and food, and not when something difficult comes in, when trauma comes back up, when things are challenging in our life, to not just go and just say like, F it, I'm just gonna go for it, and approach it from a perspective of you're eating it, and then you beat yourself up from eating it. You know what I mean? So again, that's a very that's a very heavy topic to speak in 5-10 minutes, you know. But there's something here that they want us to focus on. So yes, I have to bring this back to Thanksgiving and the holidays coming up. Like, this is, okay, wait, where's this card? The ace, where's the ace? Interesting. Oh, Ace of Wands. All right, so our last card is the Ace of Wands. And for some reason, this reminds me of the Homer Simpson meme. When you draw the Ace of Wands, it indicates that you should just go for it. Take the chance and pursue an idea that you have in mind. Not at all the meme. Wands symbolize creativity, and the Ace of Wands is the boldest among the cards in the suit. It bravely helps you find your own voice and create a space where you can develop your own vision. And so I love, okay, it ends really well. This is a heavy message, but it does end very well. So let's wrap this up. The first card that came in was moderation. So something that you want, something that you crave, something that reminds you of childhood that you have been holding back because you don't want to gain 5 pounds just to think about it. This is an opportunity for you to reframe and readjust these rigid thoughts about this specific food. And things are gonna get heavier, things are gonna get denser, things are coming up for healing. It's an opportunity to heal that trauma and these things that have happened in your life that you just brushed away because you didn't want to deal with it at the time. Now is the second opportunity to do that. Things are coming up. They are, like, energetically, there's so much coming up right now, and trust me, I am not immune to this. There's a lot coming up right now, and a fiery climax approaches. Like, this is super, this is brewing, and it's almost done. So there's a lot brewing up to the surface now, and now is a great opportunity to approach this by taking the time to first to become aware and acknowledge what's coming up. Just see it, observe it, and honor it. There's a reason why things aren't easy right now. It's because this is all coming up and you haven't dealt with it. So acknowledge it, observe it, get the support that you need to process it. Because now it is your second chance. It is your opportunity to release this. And once you do, trust me, the food issues are not going to be as bad, because there's a reason why you have been going to food for comfort, or a reason why you've been going to food for temporary hormones of good feeling coming up, like a quick, not quick fix, but yeah, something that makes you feel good temporarily. And so this is not necessarily, I'm just gonna say, it's not a healthy relationship with food once you just go to food for comfort or for distraction or for numbing the pain that you're feeling. And so here the King of Swords is asking you to see it from a different perspective and to kind of just not be so rigid about it, and see how you can make this more I'm gonna say healthy. And then the Ace of Wands is, you got this, you can do this, you're able to do this now. You're able to do this now. You should just go for it. Trust that it is possible for you to deal with this at this time. It wasn't possible in the past because you didn't have the tools to deal with it. Now it is possible. You have it. You got it. Just go for it. And it's not easy. Trust me, I know this is not easy, but this is the time to do this. And on the other side, it's gonna feel much easier. It's gonna feel much more comfortable. But also, this is where you develop your healthy relationship with food, your healthy relationship with yourself, and this is where you can grow from that experience. And so this is a huge message, like a huge message, and it's like something that you can't just deliver in a minute or so, but listen to it again if you need to, and there's definitely more under that. So on that note, I hope that you have an amazing week, and I will see you soon. Bye.